Wait. Di ko pala nilagay itong earphones ko. Yan. Live na tayo, guys. Kamusta naman dyan? Yan. Na, na-realize ko pala kay ano ko nakuha to eh. Yung ano, kamusta naman dyan? Yung ganyan styles. Ang pangalan niya, yung Ethel, pangalan ng artista niyan. Yung babalik na siya ngayon eh. Yung nasa bubble gang yata parati dati. Yung nakakatawa. Gusto mo kayo dyan. Ganun siya magsalita. Doon ko yata nakuha yung mga ganyan style eh. Yan na. Kamusta na kayo guys? Sorry medyo, mas maaga tayo today, but in a way, late din tayo. So, at the same time, late and maaga. Dahil kailangan natin magtrabaho mamaya, habol tayo. So, kanina, we had to drop by dun sa ating mga mihente! Mga ating mga kameta dyan sa UP Asian Center. Kamusta po kayo dyan? Thank you. Alam nyo na this. Thank you for the warm reception. Meron tayong courtesy call doon. So, kilala nila ako eh. Alam na nila yan. Nung medyo hindi pa ako Zaddy, kilala nila ako. Ngayon na Zaddy na. Ayan. So, thank you very much sa mga friends natin dyan sa University of the Philippines Asian Center. Of course, good friend natin. Also, Jan. And of course, Dean, Professor June Sevilla. We'll talk more about things and our friends there in the near future, God willing. For the meantime, balikan natin itong mga pinag-usapan natin, mga foreign policy, etc. Nakita ko kanina dun sa mga suggestions and all. Someone was saying, you have to make your presentation more focused, etc. Parang, let me explain how this works. No, first of all, years of working in the media taught me one thing, which is you don't just say something out of nowhere. And this is also one thing I learned from Aristotle. You always start with something that people are already familiar with, or to use the media style, you start with a hook, and then from there you work it through. So this is not a lecture series, guys. Let's just be very clear, classroom. Yes, we talk about a lot of issues in a methodical way, pero at the end of the day, this is a vlog, all right? And sa vlog na yan, we don't discuss things out of nowhere. We find a hook, like what is the most interesting, funny thing today, and then from there we get things started. That's what you call the Aristotelian approach. You start with something that the audience can relate with, and then from there you build your discussion, and then end towards where you want to end the discussion, all right? May pagka-spontaneous din naman tayo. I have no notes, no script, no production. Hindi ko pa rin nilagay yung bago na walang scotch tape na earphones. All the thanks sa mga friends natin sa Globe, among others, giving us mga medyo marami na ako na sa atin eh. Yung mga complaint natin sa 3-in-1, sa mga gadgets natin, etc. Thank you so much for love and support. I really appreciate that. But let me explain to you how things work. When you're doing mass media, when you're dealing with a relatively huge audience, you don't start out of nowhere. You start with something people are familiar with. Now, in our age of social media and trending, you look at what is trending. So, nagkataon kahapon, bago tayo nagsimula dun sa issue ng metaverse, Elon Musk and all, nakita ko nagte-trending, for instance, yung issue about Robin Padilla and his plan to have debates na. You start from there, start from somewhere humble, somewhere chill, and then from there you build into more serious discussion. You don't do it right away. So, I'm already giving you a tip, right? So, if you want to be a vlogger, or you want to be a good communicator, right? You start with something people are familiar with. Let's say, for instance, you're giving a tour, right? Speaking tour engagement ka. So you go to some, I don't know, Midwest American place, and your discussion is about China. You don't start with China. You start with something interesting about, I don't know, Kentucky. And then from there, you build, and then you transition, may segue ka, you enter into your discussion about China, and then you move forward. You see, that's the Aristotelian approach. The Platonic Socratic approach, guys, is you start with some abstract big idea. For instance, you ask, what is love? To be or not to be, medyo Shakespearean, Socratic. And then from there, you have a kind of a deductive approach, right? Then you bring it down to the level and then go into something. The Aristotelian approach is something you start with something people are familiar with, excited with, and then you go from there. Do you get what I'm saying? All right? Do you get what I'm saying? Okay, so in-explain ko sa inyo yan. Ringkan Chan, umayos ka. Alam ko troll ka, but ay, hindi ka troll, babalikan kita mamaya. Alright? Umayos ka. Alright? Behave. Be like a kid. Alright? Before picking on big boys. You know what I mean. Okay. Alright. Going back to this. So guys, I'm explaining to you how these things work. So everything I do here is not out of nowhere. Even my decision to do these vlogs, hindi naman out of nowhere na, ay, gusto ko na mag-vlog. No. Pinag-isipan ko na mabuti. Like, what is the best way to get the right message out? Obviously, we do our writings. So if you're interested in in-depth analysis of an issue, please read me. We regularly publish every week. I mean, this is my job. Thank God. So you can see my writings on a whole range of issues on geopolitics, politics, etc. here and around the world. Not to mention interviews natin with media and all. But I realized, maraming tao gusto din nila yung tinatawag na real talk. And guess what? I'm a person who can speak about anything, no script whatsoever, because I am real talk. Right? Obviously, when you're in media, when you're in classroom, etc., you have to follow a certain format, etc. But this is social media and I love it. This is how I'll talk to my friends. Kung nagtambayan lang tayo at nakita ko yung Adidas na shoes dyan, baka naman, di ba? Kung good vibes tayo, baka naman meron tayong souvenir dyan sa mga mates natin, friends natin from Australia, right? So, you get it, guys. I'm explaining to you my heuristic approach to how we discuss issues. Because kung medyo mataas ang level na parang, if I treat this like a classroom, literally like an academic setup, parang PowerPoint is and all, I'm not sure everyone will fully appreciate it 100%. I'm sure a lot of people are out there. So you have to make it interesting. You have to make it exciting para relatable siya, right? Remember, yung concept ng median voter. So we also have a median social media audience that you have to keep in mind. All right. So I know a lot of you want me to do a 4-hour lecture on specific geopolitical issues. Then guess what? Enroll in places I teach or I'm about to teach, right? Or watch my webinars discussions. You can go on YouTube, for instance, type Hey Darian, Stanford, Hey Darian, Harvard Law School. You see my lectures there. 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour. I have had recent discussions, 2 hours, 3 hours. Please. So there's nothing shallow in what we do. Everything we do is because we want to reach out to different audience, right? Different yung appreciation ng audience, etc. And I'll be honest, napansin nga ng mami ko yan eh. Sabi ko, anak, ba't parang, pag seryoso ka, medyo okay naman ang view mo eh, medyo 1,000, 2,000. Pero pag medyo, hindi niya ginamit tong term eh, pero medyo balahura, bardagulan, parang umakyat yung viewer mo, di ba? So that, what does that say? That, it doesn't say na dapat bardagulan tayo. It says that you need to be relatable. You need to be real talk. People, kasi hindi makaka-relate ang tao sa'yo kung puro ka lang mga curated, clean, perfect. Dapat medyo unscripted, medyo balahura, bardagulan. Because I want you guys to understand, I'm nothing, I don't think of myself as something super special or I'm this and that. I don't take myself too seriously. Or I take what I do seriously, but I don't take myself too seriously. At ang gusto ko maintindihan is, guys, I'm actually like this in real life. I'm like chill guy, right? Kanchawan, etc. But, when I'm going to do a serious lecture, I'm serious 100%. When I do my writings, it's serious 100%. If I'm your teacher, I'm serious 100%. You mess around, I'm going to fail you in the class, no problem. All right? So, you have to keep that in mind. So, nothing we do here is shallow. And remember, every topic I discuss here, guys, I have already written on it extensively. Articles, journal articles, if not books, or very long essays. All right? Everything. Practically everything, except yung metaverse na discuss natin kahapon. Although dun sa isang book ko, The Indo-Pacific, dun sa last chapter, chapter 9? Yeah, chapter 9, Pax Pacifica, I actually kind of discuss artificial intelligence, its impact on future of geopolitics. Meron tayong rhizomatic theory, medyo Guattari, and medyo may mga French theories ako doon na ganon, alright? Yes, I kind of touch on it, but I want to develop that further. So everything we talk about, guys, here, mga kapsat, mga kaibigan, I've already written on that. So if you want to have a more detailed, disciplined, structured analysis, it's there. But the whole point of doing a vlog is precisely because we want to go beyond just structured analysis, PowerPoints and all. We want to have much more spontaneous interaction. Gets nyo? Kasi aminin natin, mas na-appreciate ng maraming tao, karamihan ng tao, yung ganyan. Kaya nga tayo may university, kaya nga tayo may mga PowerPoint presentation, that has its place. There's a time for love, there's a time for vlog. Alright? Time for loves and time for vlogs. So yes, I appreciate the fact that some of you want to come here and expecting we'll get a full lecture, etc. But I hope you understand, the median audience out there wants to get something that has a little bit of entertainment and a lot of substance. And that's exactly what we're providing here. Alright? Okay, now I can go on and on, but I'm telling you, there's an approach to that. Now, yung sinasabi na naman ni Nixon, Corpus, partisan. Ang pinagsasabi niyang partisan, there's nothing partisan about pointing out kapalpakan. Alright? And I pointed out kapalpakan ng lahat ng iba't ibang administrations, right? For instance, I said, my favorite president since the end of the dictatorship, or since magsaysay, I would say, is Ramos. And I said, under Ramos, there were a lot of problems. There were issues with privatization, issues with corruption, issues with kidnapping. Asian financial crisis, of course, was unfortunate for him. But he also did a lot of good things. He consolidated our democracy, ended the coups. He created macroeconomic stability. He was highly respected abroad, etc. See, balance. On Aquino, excuse me. You know, President Aquino took some issue with some of the things I wrote on him. Check my first article on Foreign Affairs magazine. The title is Noy Noy Stumbles. I'm sure he didn't like it. God bless his soul. I still give credit where credit is due. But I criticized the previous administration on Mama Sapano, on lack of inclusive growth, etc. So if you're really an honest person and hindi ka tamad, kung nag-research ka, you'll see that I have judiciously examined every administration. President Duterte, you know it very well. In the first 6 months or so, or actually first 3 months, I gave him benefit of the doubt. Itong binoto ng taong bayan, let's give him a chance. Pero once it became clear to me, now we're gonna have this kind of bara-bara approach to war on drugs, I called it out. And that's where the trolls went crazy on me, right? And that's also why initially I was being misinterpreted as a DDS guy. Is that the problem eh? Napakababaw yung level ng analysis. People immediately try to put you in camp. So the partisan is your lens, not me. Because in your lens, either you're pro your manok or anti your manok. You don't see anything beyond that. Guess what? I'm beyond that. That's why it's called meta. Right? What does meta mean? Means transcending. Transcendental tayo. We're meta. We're beyond partisan politics. Now, nagkataon na mas perfect attendance yung isa sa debate. Mas nagkakataon yung isa mas malinis at hindi masyadong kurakot. Hindi ko na kasalanan niya to point out na one side is more questionable than the other. That's not partisan. That's a reality. Kapalpakan. Where should I start? Alright? 2016. What did President Duterte inherit macroeconomically? 2022. What will Marcos inherit macroeconomically? Yes, to be fair, there was pandemic. But guess what? Many of our neighbors had pandemic, but their economy did not shrink as much as the Philippines. It shrank 2%, 3%. Vietnam even grew. Taiwan even grew. The Philippines shrank by 10%. To tell it's just pandemic, you're missing the point. Pandemic was a factor, but another factor was extended, delayed lockdowns. Sino may kasalanan yan? Connect the dots, my friends. Right? For instance, I'm perfectly okay with the idea of independent foreign policy dahil ayaw ko maging independent tayo sa Amerika or any country. By the way, before you even know about you knew about President Duterte, I was already criticizing our over dependence on the US. Go on Google and type paucity of Philippine foreign policy. My name will pop up. Look at the criticism I had of Philippine foreign policy. Noon pa lang. So then don't give me this nonsense about partisan. If you're here to get confirmation bias, if you're here to just hear good things about your manok or candidate to feel good about your vote, I'm sorry, you're in the wrong place. Forget about it. Alright? I don't need you. Alright? But if you're here to get some real talk, tough love, and sometimes even encouragement. Pansin ko, yung trabaho ko over the past month is parang therapist ako eh. Maraming tao dyan, hindi naka-move on, disappointed, or stressed, etc. So I'm explaining to people what went right and wrong for certain parties and why we got the outcome and what we can look forward to. Alright? So please, if you want to cancel me by trying to portray me as this and that, forget about it. Go with your trashy bloggers and all and enjoy your time there. This is not the time for that. This is a meta. Seryosong discussion dito. Now, sometimes, yes, maybe sometimes I'm a bit more harsh to this and that person. Well, it happens. But if you really bother to read us, go through our writings, and over the past 10 years, I've criticized all parties. Go, for instance, on YouTube, type Haydarian China engagement. This was 2014. I was criticizing the previous administration for not engaging China too much. In the same way, I criticized the next administration, especially the president, for being overly acquiescent towards China. Now, you don't know what's acquiescence? Go and Google that too. Alright? So, that's what we're doing, guys, here. I hope you appreciate. You're not coming to just another vlogger, just to another discussion. We're meta. We want to go beyond just cheap partisan fault lines. We want to do something different, right? And let me be very clear before you accuse me of being hubristic and all. To be honest, alam ko marami tayong limitation. There are many things we're not doing right. There are many things we can do better. There are many things I could have done better in the past. I understand that. Hindi ako perfecto. Forget about perfection. I'm sometimes not performing at best as I should. Minsan pagod, minsan haggard, minsan you're emotional, minsan you're angry. Tawa lang po, pasensya na. But I always try to improve things. I always try to leave a legacy. And I'm sure whatever I'm doing today, someone else can do it way better than me. I'm very sure about that. I look forward to a day when my students, former students, future students, whatever, will also do something like what I'm doing in terms of contributing dun sa ating national interest. Contributing dun sa antas ng diskusyon ukol sa politika, ekonomiya, ating lipunan, kultura, ating relasyon sa ibang bansa. I look forward to that. But what really gives me inspiration and heartens me is the fact that at least I'm starting something. And hindi ako nag-iabang or I don't think I'm special or whatever. But my point is, I think what we're doing in this meta is not something that has been done a lot in the past. Okay, in a way, we want to pioneer. Sorry for being a little bit presumptuous there. Something different. So I'm not pretending I'm doing this perfectly. There are times I'm doing this 9-10 p.m. nung pagod na ako, I had to work the whole day, right? Sometimes I cannot give you 100% because I have work afterwards. All right, I work 16 hours a day. All right, I know it sounds Elon Musk, but I do work 16 hours a day. I work around the clock because I work with media across the world. People have been my class beadles, presidents. They know it. They message me 4 a.m. I'm gonna reply. They message me 11 a.m. I'm gonna reply. They message me 7 p.m. I'm gonna reply. Right? We do intermittent fasting and intermittent sleeping sometimes just to get through things. All right? Nung election time, I start at 7 a.m. with a BBC interview at 8. I ended 4 a.m. the next day with another BBC, with GMA, TV5, CNN, everything in between. Then my next work was at 11 a.m. with Bloomberg. I had to wake up at 10. All right? We work as much as we can. So if sometimes I'm tired, I'm not my most coherent, my most eloquent, pasensya na lang. But because I have a lot of obligations and all. But I'm trying my best, guys, here. So please, when you come here, remember, the guy who's giving this meta is not a vlogger 100% of the time, right? He's a public educator. That's really what I'm doing. Now, to be more presumptuous, he's a public intellectual. So to be a little bit French about this, right? Medyo Sartrean, Camus style, right? So, pasensya na kung hindi tayo 100%. But come on, guys. You Google, you go Amazon, you see my books. You Google, you see all my articles, right? There are 2,000 of them out there at least, right? Please. A lot of them, not all, are not even behind subscription. The Nikkei one and some of them, New York Times pieces ko, yes, behind subscription yung iba. But a lot of them are not. All right? Including my columns for New York, for Philippine Daily Inquirer. You can read them for free. So if you're really wanting a probing, in-depth, etc., enroll in my classes or go and, read my works, right? Now, what we're doing in this vlog is to make sure now we can reach out to an audience that wants relatable but substantive discussions. Alright? Yan po yung ginagawa natin. So, maybe I didn't clarify this, but I want to reiterate what we're trying here. Okay? At the same time, obviously, I'm not an expert in everything. Right? There's a method called the Da Vinci Code. Right? Not Da Vinci Code. Sorry, that's the book. Da Vinci Method. What does it say? It says you have to be at the 90th percentile in at least one field, meaning top 10% ka in one field. Then you have to be 70th percentile, top 30% in 3-4 fields. Then you combine that, right? So if you look at Da Vinci, he was a Renaissance man because he was good in multiple things: sculpture, painting, engineering, etc. I'm not sure his engineering was as good as his painting, but easily he was like 99th percentile in painting, 98th percentile probably in sculpture, and 95th percentile in engineering. So he was not as good in everything, but he was good in multiple things. Guess what? That's something that I always believed in. I said, I'm not going to be an expert in everything, but I'll try to be at least specializing in one thing where I can stand out. And I can say, like for instance, on international relations and regional geopolitics, etc., I have extensive publications in that, both academic and popular, right? And I did that in my 20s already. So by my 20s, I already had multiple books, including academic books, right, on international affairs, not to mention journal articles, ISI, Spocus publications, right, plus all of these publications. But guess what? IR alone doesn't cut it for me. I'm also interested in populism, in politics. I'm also interested in interface of technology and politics. I love economics, right? Um, I I love MMA, for instance, analysis, mixed martial arts, technical speaking, hindi yung technically speaking, technical to ang approach ng pinag-usapan natin dito, right? Some of you may have seen my, videos of punching and kicking and all. That didn't come out of nowhere. That was decades of training, at least decades in taekwondo, at least, etc. Aside from punching and learning boxing, so yes, I like multiple things, and I hope I'm at least 90th percentile in one thing, and then competent enough to discuss other issues. Kaya nga, yung iba, akala na parang sabog, but actually what we're doing is we're trying to cover different issues and see connections among them, right? So, ganito, kasi yun nga I don't think people appreciate what we're trying to do here. They think, okay, Richard is just another vlogger trying to get eyeballs and attention and stars for that matter, etc. But I hope you guys understand what we're trying to do here. As I said, sino ba naman ako? Ilan 100,000 lang naman ng followers natin. Ilan million lang naman ang engagement natin. So, syempre, kalaban natin, hundreds of millions of engagement, millions of followers, etc. So, relatively nobody tayo. So I have no illusions about, like single-handedly I'm gonna lift the whole, ocean and boats and all of that. But, if we can do this right, or set the tone, or provide a model, I'm sure in the future you'll see a lot of other people do it even better than me, right? Because they'll learn from my mistakes, and they'll learn also from my strengths, right? Whatever we got right, all right? So yun lang sana guys. Have you noticed, like, I'm also trying to get suggestions from you guys, like what questions, what issues, etc. Obviously, we have had more than 1,000 questions since I introduced that. So I'm not gonna pretend I'm gonna answer all of them. But I could narrow that 1,000 to 300 questions because a lot of them were similar. We kind of touched on a number of them. But I'm also trying to understand what you guys are looking for. But also, I hope you also understand, I'm not a vlogger, 100%. I'm not here just doing vlog and all. I'm an educator. I have a lot of things I do. And this is my also an alternative avenue for reaching out. And also understanding, parang crowdsourcing din to base sa mga discussion natin. Nagigets ko yung anong hinahanap niyo. Alright, so I hope you understand that your support, you engaging me here, yung mga comments nyo gano'n, na-appreciate ko yan. Because this is not about me and you. This is about whoever in the future wants to learn from what we're doing and do it even better than me. No problem. At least I'm glad I got the ball rolling, right? And I'm not gonna get it perfectly, right? So yun lang. So let's be clear about that. Now, I also thought about this. Now, there's a pretentious way of doing substantive intellectual discussion, but there's a guru way of doing it properly, making complicated concepts and ideas and theories relatable in a language that is layman enough for people to appreciate. Because napansin ko with a lot of people, they try to sound intelligent by dropping jargons, but obviously they don't understand enough to make it simplified. If you're really good, you can make very complicated issues very simple. And one day actually, naglalakad lang ako, etc. And then some folk, humble folk, just recognized and said, "Oh, Prophet Aaron, blah, blah, blah," etc. Salamat po sa inyo. Nagets ko yung on clause, yung parang ambag ng ating arbitration award. Because I explained in a very non-legalist, non-jargonish way, ano ang kahulugan at saka, yung importansya nung arbitration award natin. By explaining it simply. Not trying to sound pretentiously international law expert, which I'm not, nor UNCLOS expert, which I'm not, right? But explain it in a way that is digestible and your median kababayan can understand. You see, it takes a deep level of understanding to be able to translate complicated ideas into something that is digestible by the layman audience. In the same way, like my favorite people are people who can explain really complicated physics in terms that I, a non-physicist, can understand, right? So Michiko Kaku, for instance, I really like that guy. Man. He can explain to you string theory, for instance, in ways that is digestible. So there were many of these great physicists and scientists, Neil deGrasse, for instance, who explained the cosmos or explain quantum theory or quantum physics, for instance, in ways that's relatable. They don't come here and ipapamukha sa'yo na napakatalino nila by showing you all of those mathematics. If you're really smart, if you're really good, You can make very complicated actually very relatable. So actually my role model are these physicists who explain the cosmos and quantum mechanics and physics in ways that is relatable to people, right? And for me, that's a great legacy to leave behind, whoever is doing public education, whatever, right? I do my own academic works and all, and you can, as I said, I can talk about rhizomatic theory. I have a lot of Hegelian approach to analyzing things. We can go that, no problem with me. But kung talagang magaling ka, pwede mo explain ito in ways that is digestible, na ma-appreciate ng karamihan ng tao who are as smart as you or even smarter than me. This is not about me being smarter than you. It's just that each of us have certain specialization. I'm sure you guys, some of you know way more than me about cars, way more than me about finance, right? Way more than me accounting or whatever. So I hope to learn from you guys. I mean, that's how it works, di ba? So, kaya nga, yun nga yung point ko. Ang ginagawa po natin dito is not to have a highfalutin, pretentious, blah, blah, blah. Anyone can do that. Go there and say, what are the 10 most glamorous concepts in blah, blah, blah. And then memorize it and then throw it out there and make people think, oh, napakatalino mo. But if you actually drill it, you interrogate their arguments, makikita mo hindi niya alam pinagsasabi nila. I mean, anyone can talk about quad, right? Quad. But what does really quad mean? By the way, the quad we're looking at is the Quad 2.0. There was an earlier quadrilateral security dialogue that was tested in the early 2000s. There's a deep history to that. I have met Quad foreign ministers, right? I've met leaders from Quad countries. I've followed what happened with Quad. I've written extensively on that. So it's so easy to just throw out this like Quad and look like you're an expert on geopolitics. Anyone can do that. Just mag-English ka lang, mukha ka ng matalino kunyari, di ba? But that's not what we're doing here. These are very complicated issues and we have to explain them properly. Or yung idea na we have to be neutral, we have to be independent, etc. Like, what do you mean by that? So in social science, we have a term for that. Operationalize. Distill that idea. What do you mean by independence? Because this is the legal situation, this is the strategic situation, this is the domestic politics situation, this is the regional balance of power situation. Paano mo ipasok yung konsepto na yan? Within that parameter. That's where you know kung may alam yung tao or hindi, or nagsasalita lang siya, right? Because anyone can just memorize seemingly complicated ideas. Even on economics, the same thing, right? I mean, in economics, you can talk about fiscal consolidation, but what exactly do you mean by fiscal consolidation? Is it increasing the tax base? Is it increasing the tax effort? Is it both? Is it about belt tightening, deficit management? What is expansionary monetary policy? How can we do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, madali naman mag-memorize ng mga kung ano-ano. Ang mahirap is yung talagang maintindihan mo na mabuti para ma-distill mo into its essence, and then you communicate that essence in a language that can be appreciated by people na hindi mahilig. One of the things I'm most proud about is people messaging me and say, alam mo, dati hindi ako interesado sa ganitong topic or ganyan topic. Pero pagkatapos ng interview mo sa ganito or nung pinanood ko yung meta mo, parang nag-gets ko yung relevance nito. At parang, nga, actually interesting topic siya. Do you get what I'm saying? So, what is the term for that, classroom? Demystification. You see, fake intellectuals mystify a concept by making it look too complicated. Oh, it's like only us experts can understand it. Leave it to the technocrats. A really smart guy and an educator, a true educator, demystifies it. They say, it sounds complicated, but actually it's really just that. And then you explain it that way. No? This is what we're trying to do here, to demystify substantive, I won't say high level, etc., but substantive discussion about international affairs, about domestic politics, even economic and development politics. All right? Soon you're gonna see an interview between me and a cabinet technocrat. So I'm not gonna say more. We'll upload that. You're gonna see that. So don't worry. We're gonna talk to top level technocrats, etc., on the for future of the country, about trade policy, industrial policy, etc. So we're gonna do our assignment. As I said, I'm not just a armchair guy, just sitting here and telling you stuff. I meet the secretaries, I meet the heads of state, I interview them, I study, I research, I write, distill, and write not just whatever, but you write for places where they have editors and a brand or whatever, standards, you know what I'm saying? So this is what we're trying to do here. No, I know today actually I was hoping to discuss foreign policy and everything like that, but I thought we had to clear the air here. Ano bang gusto natin mangyari dito? Alright, dun sa mga team late, team live, team reply, Ay, hindi, Team Live, alam niyo yan. Mga Team Late at Team Replay, in-explain lang po natin dito anong gusto natin mangyari sa buhay natin. Ano pang ambag ng meta na ito. Okay? Because I think people have different expectations dito. So let me clear what we're looking at. Kumbaga parang sa relasyon yan, ano yung parameters? Ano mga, ano, ayan na naman tayo. Mga hugot line. No, so I'm just explaining to you guys para you know what we're trying to do here. Okay? Now, if hindi kayo happy, kung hanap niyo dito, bardagulan lang, hanap niyo ditong nangangasar or pa-cute lang, sorry, we're gonna disappoint you. Cute, no. But pa-cute, not always. Minsan lang. Minsan may fuego, minsan pa-cute, gets ko yan. But we're here, guys, to do something different, something special, something new, right? And I'll tell you, I've had many inspirations. I don't agree with them 100%. Joe Rogan has been an inspiration. I'm not a fan of these guys and love this idea, but Jordan Peterson, I think, has done a good job of explaining some of at least psychological concepts in ways that could be understood. But his politics is horrible, and I'm not going to go into that. So there are a number of these kind of dark web people that I appreciate, but there are also some legit people, not dark web people. As I said, Michiko Kaku. I really like the guy, how he explains things in ways that is relatable to anyone about physics, right? Complicated string theory, for instance. What does string theory tells us about creation, right? Yung mga ganon. I mean, there are a lot of them that super love ko sila. I'm really influenced by them. Or economists. There are a number of economists I really love. Two of them happen to be actually Turkish Americans. And they know a lot about developing countries. One is Danan Acemoglu, all right, who's in MIT, and the other one is Danny Roderick, all right, who is he used to be in Harvard. I think he's back in Harvard Kennedy School. So I love these economists because they can explain complicated developmental institutional issues in a language that is relatable to anyone. And their books. So you may know How Nations Fail. That's one book that Darren Acemoglu wrote. But he has a new book at the Narrow Corridor. He has a lot of great journal articles you can read. I even like Danny Roderick even more because he has this book, One Economics, Many Recipes, kung saan in-explain niya, huwag kayo makinig lang doon sa mga standard economics kung gusto niyo mag-improve yung bansa niyo. Kung tinignan niyo mga iba't ibang mga bansa na successful, they made their own recipe. Parang cooking yan eh. Kung magaling kang chef, you come up with your own recipe. Hindi ka lang nangangopia sa iba. But you have to have a high-level knowledge of the ingredients so that you know how to put them together. Right? Yung alchemy, right policy alchemy to get that. You get what I'm saying? So, I'm giving an idea where I'm getting my approach to things. I like Reza Aslan a lot, for instance. I learned a lot about the great religions and the great prophets from people like Reza Aslan, who have explained very well the story of great religious figures in history. Or, for instance, Karen Armstrong. I love her. She has done a fantastic job. She helped me to understand Buddha, the times and life of Jesus, prophets, etc. So, you see, this is what we're trying to do here. So if you want to have a classroom discussion type PowerPoint, etc., go ahead, enroll in the class or my class or whatever. So this is not what we're trying to do here. All right? And sometimes you don't want to be too structured precisely because people want a fluid discussion. Because human beings, and this is the Socratic side of me, dialogical. When you say dialogical, is marites, but in a good way. Marites with the brains, all right? Yan po ang ginagawa natin in a way, right? Because if it's just a structured discussion and all, honestly, it sounds pretentious to do a vlog like that. Sorry to say it, right? There's a proper venue for that kind of discussion. But here we can do substantive discussion, but in a way that is interesting enough. Otherwise, I might have 100, 200 viewers na napaka-excited, but we're gonna lose an opportunity to reach out to tens of thousands and millions of others who could also benefit a lot from more substantive discussion na hindi trash talk at puro mga bardagulan, etc. But don't worry, we'll have balahura and bardagulan once in a while just to get things going, including mga trolls dyan. Umayos kayo, uy, parang yung ibang troll na nosebleed na, parang napansin ko pag seryoso tayo, nawawala yung mga troll. Walang iya itong mga to. Okay. Anyway, hindi na natin na-discuss yung gusto ko i-discuss today. But I felt it's very important. You can see, this is from my heart. So no script, no whatever. I'm just telling you guys, where am I coming from? So based on that, at least clear tayo in terms of our expectations. Now, obviously, I'm open to ideas. I'm open to improvements. I constantly think about how can we make our discussion. Not only meta, my lectures, my talks. I'm constantly thinking about how to make things better, right? So, yeah, throw your ideas out there. But remember what we're doing here. Okay? Okay, and let me tell you, maraming salamat sa inyo. At least nalaman ko, maraming tao rin actually interesado dito sa mga ganyan diskusyon. Like, parang medyo ganon pero maginoo. Right? Medyo baliktad. Medyo ganon pero maginoo. Alright? Okay? Gets nyo ba yan? Kasi honestly, like, I think a lot of academics, a lot of friends, a lot of colleagues, parang they don't tell me, but parang deep inside, I think fear nila is, mahirap magganyan online and all. Kasi purong bardagulan lang naman. Hindi namin gusto yan. Gusto namin seryoso. So what I'm trying to do is to also inspire a lot of our great thinkers out there, colleagues and friends, to also do this. Right? Don't be scared. There's a lot of interest. But, don't bore people. Be exciting. Be interesting. And be brave. Be brave. There'll be a lot of hyenas there. You have to roar once in a while. And then once in a while, ask your supporters, Kameta, to take care of them. Alright? Alright. Sorry. Okay. Ito na, medyo 6:30 na. Gusto kumain na tayo. Di pa ako nag-lunch ng mabuti. Ang bilisan, ang dami natin ginagawa eh. Alright, habol ako sa trabaho. So I hope you appreciate our discussion today, guys. Alright? It's not really a discussion, more like clearing the air. Tomorrow, God willing, balikan ko kayo dito sa topic ng foreign policy. We'll discuss it more. Check yung latest column ko on Inquire, for instance, to see where I'm coming from. Pag-usapan natin ng Pilipinas, foreign policy, pag-usapan natin neutrality, etc. Because ang daming hot air, daming simplistic nonsense, daming semantics nandun. What is semantics? Wow, mukhang glamorous yung idea, but actually when you break it down, it's hollow. It's vacuous, right? So, we have to use the term, kind of critical theory, we have to interrogate these concepts, all right, and break them down, all right? Because if you're just gonna do, many people get away with vacuous stuff. So we wanna break it down. All right? That's what we're trying to do. And as I said, at the end of the day, the idea is not I'll be your guru and then you listen to what I say. No. I'm sharing a methodology of approaching the world. Ang gusto ko mangyari after discussion natin is you go and you think for yourself. I teach you techniques, but the painting, you make that painting yourself. I'm not gonna tell you what you paint. I'm not gonna tell you how to paint, per se, but I'm gonna pick up the lessons and then work out your own opinions and ideas. But as I always said, you're entitled to your opinion, but not your own facts. It has to be objective, verified facts. Alright? Okay, are we clear? Yung mga nagsususi-susi ako dito, that means medyo, alis na ako. Di ba? Pag may kausap ka, nagsususi-susi ka, ibig sabihin, alis na ako. Tapos, yung Adidas, parang yung Adidas shoes, medyo, hindi tayo kanina actually, dumaan ako sa UPville eh. Pagdaan ko sa UPville, ayun na, yung mga Boy Libre, Boy Takas, ayan na, bumabalik na yung mga memories natin. Oy, aminin nyo yung mga friends ko, colleagues na yan sa akin. Aminin nyo yan, gawain natin yan. Gawain nyo yan, yung lalo mga boy takas. Ayan tayo. Alright, thank you guys. Any questions before we... ayan, may tanong si Mariza. Kamusta ang DFA natin? Exactly, kamusta ang DFA natin? Baka career na lang nalalagay nila or Teddy Boy will stay for a while. And then let's see if Harry Roque will take over next year. Let's see. Alright, thank you. Any other question before we head to our dinner and discussions and all? Ayan na talaga, hater ko talaga to si Nixon Corpus, no? You don't want political will. Nixon, nagigets mo ba yung sarcasm? Wala akong issue sa political will. Ang issue ko lang, yung purong political will lang, pero wala naman alam sa sinasabi niya. Or bara-bara lang. Or someone who has been promoted to his level of incompetence. Baka gumagana yan sa barangay chairman, mayor level, pero yung mga political will style na yan, bara-bara, hindi gumagana sa national level. Alright? So please, gets mo sana yung sarcasm, ha? Sarcasm. Alright? Yes, you have to have political will, but you also have to have training, preparation, strategy, and most importantly, you have to have institutions, strong institutions. Ang pinakamalaking problema sa Pilipinas is mahina yung estado natin. At when you put strong men there na walang pake sa institusyon, sa ligang batas, lalong humihina. Nagiging banana republic tayo. The leaders we need are people who build strong institutions. Not only strong military, but also strong institutions. And for that, you need to have rule of law. You need to have meritocracy. You have to appoint, hindi yung naging kaklase mo or ka-dormmate mo or ka-probinsya mo. Hindi, yung mga talaga best and brightest. Tell me, in what universe do you think best and brightest talaga yung kabinete ni? Alam nyo na this. Alright? At speaking of kapalpakan, bakit ang Pilipinas ang kulela dun sa investment inflow sa ASEAN over the past few years, pinakakulela dun sa biggest damage sa economy, lahat apektado sa pandemic, pero bakit ang Pilipinas ang pinaka-affected negatively sa GDP noong 2020, bakit ang Pilipinas ang parating kulela dati sa Nikkei Asia Index, Bloomberg, and then recently lang medyo umakyat sa sinasite ni Duque. I'm not even gonna go to Farmali, I'm not gonna even go into the embarrassing, subservient. You see, if you care about national interests, you don't care about your manok. Alright? At yun ang problema sa atin eh. Mas fanatic kayo kaysa patriotic. Yan ang problema. Yan ang problema. And I hope comes a day whereby fanaticism is replaced by patriotism. That's the only way that we can get out of the mess we are coming out. Now, I completely agree. No one has a monopoly on patriotism. But I think, bara thinking, I love China thinking, I don't think that's the right way forward. All right? I don't. And fanaticism, you're willing to burn down the whole country just to defend your candidate, etc. Good luck sa ating bansa. Walang mangyayari sa atin ganyan tayo. All right? Now, you're free to disagree with me and say, no, I have a better method than you. Okay, I can agree with you. But you're trying to cancel me by saying, doon ka na lang sa mga bloggers nyo, enjoy your alternative universe. Just keep this in mind. Everyone who really cares for the national interest, anyone who actually knows what's going on, pinagtatawanan lang kayo. Okay? Yun lang. At hindi lang kayo pinagtatawanan, umiiyak din sila para sa ating bayan. Believe me, there are many people who know what's happening, they're weeping for our country because we can do so much better than this. But anyway, patapos na yung mga namin yung iba. Yes, may kapalpakan yung dating administration, pero ayoko yung tipong sinisisi sa lahat, ikaw, competent ka pa. And then so let's see, with the incoming administration, as you can see, I'm giving the benefit doubt. Let's hope for the best, things will work in the best way possible. Let's not be delusional about things. Let's have eyes wide open. But let's also support when good things happen. And let's support good cabinet members. Secretary Balisacan, I like him very much. I'm happy that he's in charge of NEDA. There are many people appointed to the incoming administration. Secretary Ople, God bless her. I think she's going to do a good job. She loves the country. I can name many people who are going to join this administration. My former professor, Carlos, we may have disagreements here and there, but I know deep inside she cares for the country and she loves the country, all right? So let's see, guys, all right? Yun lang naman eh. Kasi kung fanatic lang kayo at ipapartisan nyo lang anyone who's not as fanatic as you, good luck sa ating bayan. Good luck talaga sa ating bayan. Patriotism before fanaticism. That's the only way, guys. Right? Bayan bago politika. Bayan bago presidente. Bayan bago partido. Bago manok. Alright? So, how do you solve fanaticism? You solve fanaticism by educating people. You solve fanaticism by making people realize they have obligations. You solve fanaticism by showing the way what is patriotism. You solve fanaticism by saying, it's not really about the person, it's about institutions. Ang kailangan po natin yung malakas na estado, malakas na birokrasya, meritocracy, getting the best and the brightest inside the government, not getting the ones who are closest to the government, the most vlogger in the pro-government, the most, alam niyo na, fill in the blank, right? Yun lang. Yun lang. Now, hindi ako naghahanap ng government ng katulad ng Norway or Sweden sa Pilipinas. Wala akong ilusyon. Alright? I'm very realistic. But sana naman, minimum competence. At sana naman, minimize din yung fanaticism. Alright? Huwag bulag-bulagan. Kawawa yung bayan. Alright? Now, tapos na yung last 6 years. There's nothing I can do. Tapos na yan. But sana naman for the next 6 years or so, medyo level up. Alright? Medyo level up. So ako, I'm being fair. In fact, well, you know what's interesting? A lot of people who watch my metas are people who are not happy with what happened in elections, but after actually watching my meta, they're saying, baka hindi ko na kailangan mag-migrate. Baka naman, something actually good could happen. So if you were to try to paint me as bitter or partisan, like, are you kidding me? my metas, my speeches are helping a lot of people to still have faith in our country and our future and our democracy. Now, sorry if I'm not like your blogger who's like, ay, napakagaling ni ganito, tapos bastusan sa ibang camp. No. In the past 1 hour that we talked, let's say, 45 minutes, may binastos ba akong presidente? Like, honestly, yung bastusan style ng blogger niyo? Hindi. I questioned competence, yes. But I also give credit where credit is due. For instance, President Duterte, in fairness, at least his administration, they did something with Pag-asa. In fairness sa administration na yan, they did something with infrastructure, right? So we give credit. Wala akong I'm not invested in any party or any person. I'm only invested in the interest of the realm. Sino yan? Yung sa Game of Thrones, sabi niya, we're here not for each house or whatever. We're here to protect the realm. Alright? Ganun po yung trabaho. Hindi si Littlefinger yung isa. Right, exactly, right? Yung sabi niya, power is like shadow on the wall. Yan, yung isa dyan. Right, yeah. We're here for the interest of the realm. Alright? Sometimes this house does better, sometimes that house, but I'm not invested in any of these houses. I'm interested in the realm. Protecting our realm. From the white walkers, whatever, dragons, whatever is invading us, all right? Or incompetence from within. Okay, and sometimes we have to support some house over another house because one house is more self-destructive for the realm than the other. All right? Think about the realm, the interest of the realm. Yun po yung ginagawa natin dito. At maawa naman kayo sa mga kapwa natin, di ba? Dahil kung incompetent ang presidente or administration, marami magsasuffer. Marami magsasuffer. Think about that. All right? Okay. Thank you very much. Napaisip tuloy ako. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So thank you. Yeah, Lord Varys, yeah. Thank you. Although mas cute naman ako. Thank you kay Dian. Thank you kay Francis, kay Gordion, kay Mitch as usual, kay Matt. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you kay Maya, kay Che, kay kay Ja, sa mga ka-YouTube natin. Thank you very much sa mga nag-comment. Ay, nakita ko yung comments yun. Oh, alam mo, minsan nangasar lang naman tayo sa mga troll. Alam ko naman yung iba sa inyo, siguro you don't appreciate lang yung tone, etc. na yabangan kayo. But please, know that deep inside, this is not about any party or person, etc. This is about what I think is the best for the country, which is the best method. And all you can disagree with me, it's okay. It's okay. If you have a better idea, go ahead. Let's have a discussion. No problem. And then, of course, minsan pagod ako, stress ako. Siyempre, napikon tayo. But at the end of the day, we still always try to end on a good note. Yun lang naman ang ginagawa natin, guys. Alright? Honestly, that will be the thing that I want to be proud of. If talaga may ginagawa tayo, leave a model for how to properly do vlogs, political vlogs and discussion in ways that is substantive and lifts up the discussion. Alright? Buongiorno, mi amigo. From Maestro, from La Italia. Nikki K, thank you very much for your kind support. Ara, thank you for your support. Dun sa lahat naman ng give ng support sa atin. Dun sa mga comments nyo. Yes, pati yung mga boy libre. Thank you pa rin. I appreciate your attendance. Uy, nawala na natin isang boy libre natin, ha? Na-hurt yata. Hindi, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. At least mayroon naman tayo interaction. Yeah, marhaba to our friends from United Arab Emirates, si Miss. Shukran habibi. Muchas gracias. Todo. Really, mi corazón is beating for you guys. I really appreciated that. Alright? Yeah, so okay. So please lang. Now, if factual, substantive, intellectual discussion is partisan for you, I don't know what you call those bloggers, right? Good luck with that. Alright? Okay, enjoy the junk food. But if you want to have diet, good diet, intellectual diet, you come here. Alright? Now, I'm not gonna get it right all the time. Minsan, sobra yung bardagulan and goofiness natin. But guys, please no, we're trying our best here. Pagod na tayo, stress na tayo. I don't have a driver, so if hindi ako nag-grab, ako rin nagda-drive. So kanina, grab yung traffic. Pag umulan, I have to do it all. Alright? Yung internet, wifi, Metal Live, FB, lahat tayo yan guys. Yung lighting, yung wala nga powder, tingnan nyo. Kita nyo yung mga pimples natin. Ay, meron ba? Yung ay, naman. Sorry, Lord. You get what I'm saying? Alright, thank you so much. Salamat sa mga friends natin sa YouTube, from Middle East, from Gitnang Silangan, from Europe, Buongiorno, Dankeschön to our friends from Austria, Germany. Thank you to our friends in Paris. Merci beaucoup. Muchas gracias to our friends from España. Obrigado to our friends from Portugal. Yeah, shukran, tashakor to our friends from the Middle East. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Maraming salamat sa ating mga kaibigan. Daghang salamat sa mga kaibigan natin sa mga Bisaya natin kapatid. Ayan, naimbag nga gabi sa ating mga kapatid kapsat nga Ilocano, kapsat kastat style dapat nga proper discussion. Alright? At iwas traffic. At yung mga nakikinig sa atin, traffic time, para maganda yata meta habang may traffic kasi nakikinig kayo sa akin. And yes, I'm hoping to set up my podcast. Just something basic and simple muna, mamaya natin yung bongga. Para pwede niyong pakinggan ang meta ko on Spotify also. Mas madali sa inyo para hindi maubos yung load niyo sa video. Alright? But of course, I know you'll miss me to see my kalogness and all. Hindi niyo makikita sa Spotify yan. Maririnig niyo lang yan. But we'll try to be more multi-platform para naman you can access our talk. Alam ko yung iba alam mo may narinig ako, yung iba nakikinig lang sa akin bago matulog. I don't know if that's an insult or a compliment. Like, ako pa lang pang lullaby nyo. Alam mo, bago ako matulog, pinapakinggan kita. Parang, what's that supposed to mean? Alright? Ano ako, NPR? I'm not sure it's not a compliment, but yes, honestly, I also listen to podcasts before I sleep. Alright, so I don't know, maybe it's a compliment. Alright, okay. Yung iba naman, pang traffic, pang lipas oras pala ako sa kanila. Okay. Alright, whatever, okay? Saan kayo? This is the future. So I'm not doing super long form, but you can see my Project Pilipinas podcast. Ang ginagawa namin 2 to 3 hours discussion. That's a long form. But here we do mid-range. Between yung mainstream media na blah blah blah, and then yung bardagulan long form na 3 hours. This is more like a mid-range discussion. But sometimes we're long form. I think 1 hour tayo, sometimes average. That's long form too. In a way, long form tayo. Alright? Thank you very much. Daghang salamat sa mga friends natin sa Davao. Nami-miss ko kayo. Totoo yan. I mean, Ateneo Davao friends have been fantastic to me. Thanks to Haji, our good friend dyan sa Ateneo. Department of Psychology, to our friends natin sa Department of Political Science, etc. dyan sa Ateneo. Love ko kayo. Totoo yan. Alam mo, minsan nangangasar lang tayo, etc. Tatay, without tatay, love ko kayo sa Davao. Love ko rin kayo sa Cebu. Hopefully, we meet soon sa Cebu later this year. Let's see what we can arrange. And then mga friends natin sa Korea, Japan, Europe, etc. I might see you soon too, alright? At mga friends natin dyan sa California, San Diego, San Jose, Berkeley, Stanford, etc. DC, New York. I'm so New York, guys. I'm so New York, alright? I'll see you soon. Okay. Muchas gracias. Maraming salamat, guys. Low bat na rin pala ako eh. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.